Today we're going to do Chapter 5, Business Organization Structure and Strategy. Our learning outcomes: the informal organization, organizational structure, levels of strategy in the organization, centralization and decentralization. Informal. Informal organization always exists alongside the formal one. So you have one informal and one formal. The informal organization consists of social relationships, informal communication networks, behavioral norms, and power influence structures, all of which may bypass formal organization arrangements. The informal organization may be detrimental or beneficial to the organization depending on how it is managed. So it's either helping or doesn't help. Okay. If it doesn't help, it's detrimental. If it helps, it will be beneficial. Okay, the benefits: employee commitment, knowledge sharing, speed, responsiveness, cooperation. Okay, we'll go into detail. Each of the positive attributes of informal organization could easily be detrimental if the power of the informal organization is directed towards goals unrelated to or at odds with those of the formal organization. Okay, example the problems here: cutting corners, not acting in goal congruent manner, time consuming, informal information may lack accuracy, danger of clicks forming. So here will be detrimental, it means it will harm the company. So if they cut corners, that means they try to reduce costs by not doing a proper job. Okay? Or you're not following to the goals of the company. So this can harm the company. Minimizing problems, meeting as many employee needs as possible through the formal organization, using the informal charismatic leaders to motivate workers, involving managers themselves in the informal structure so that they support the breakdown of unhelpful rules and sharing of information. So we try to minimize these problems. So try to meet the employer needs, try to give the employees what they should need. Not wants, this is needs, what they need. Then use charismatic leaders, those who are good in helping the company, okay, to motivate the workers. Then also involve the manager so that it can minimize the problem. Mintzberg organigram. Mintzberg believes that all organization can be analyzed into 5 components according to how they relate to the work of the organization and how they prefer to coordinate. So you'll see this in more detail. Techno structure, support staff. You have the strategic apex, middle line, and operating core. Okay, we go into detail. How they explain about strategic apex. Ensures the organization follows its mission, manages the organization relationships with the environment. What is the preferred means of coordination? Direct supervision board. Okay. So the organization has to follow its mission. If not, it will not be able to develop further. Operating core, people directly involved in the process of obtaining inputs, converting them into outputs. So this is the main business, what you get inside and how to convert into outputs. Mutual adjustment, standardization of skill, production line workers. So these are the main people who will get the inputs, put in the inputs and convert it. Middle line converts the desires of the strategic apex into the work done by the operating core. Standardization of results of supervisors. So we have direct supervision, production line workers, supervisors. The techno structure analyzers determine the best way of doing a job. Planners determine the outputs. Example, what is the quality of output required? Personnel analysts standardize skills. Example, via training. Standardization of work processes of inputs. These are the rule makers. The support staff, auxiliary services which should not plan or standardize production operate independently of the operating core, mutual adjustment, the canteen. So this will support. They are not the main staff of the company. Okay. Okay. The functional structure, so we have the board. So you may have the marketing department, finance, sales, production, human resource. Okay. Okay. The functional, what are the advantages? Expertise is pooled as employees work in specialist areas. So the workers may have their own skills, so they will work in specialist areas. Just like an accountant, the accountant will be working in the accounting department. Avoids duplication. Example, only one management accounts department and enables economies of scale. Facilitates the recruitment, management, and development of functional specialists. Complements of a centralized business. Disadvantage, focuses on internal processes and inputs rather than customer and outputs, which are what should drive the business. So here the disadvantage is they're talking about internal. Remember, it's internal outputs and inputs and outputs. The main function should be what? Customer and outputs. Why customer and outputs? These are the people who will give you, who buy the products, who will give you revenue, who will give you sales, and in the end will result in profit. Okay, so the emphasis should be here. Communication problems may arise between factions. Poor coordination can occur, especially in a tall organization where all decisions have to go to senior management. When you say tall organization, it means one layer after another layer. Okay, so by the time you come down, by the time you want to make do something, you have to go through a lot of hierarchy here. Vertical barriers to information and workflow can be created. Peters argues that horizontal flow creates better customer service. Okay. Geographic documentation, the places, geographic. Your board of directors, regional board A, B, and C. Okay. Then from here, your production department, finance department, personnel department, marketing and sales department. So geographic refers to the area. Okay. The advantage, local decision making. At the central point of contact between the organization and its customers, suppliers, or other stakeholders. So each area will deal with the customers, suppliers, and stakeholders themselves. Cheaper to establish area factories, offices, than to service market from one location. Example, reduced cost of transport. However, the disadvantages, duplication, possible losses of economies of scale might arise. Inconsistency, methods or standards may vary between different areas. So if you split the area and the managers decide to have something different, so there can be inconsistency. Okay, now we talk about product or brand. Board directors again. You have research and development department, R&D, finance department, personnel department, data processing department, and you have divisional manager A, B, and C. Okay. And then from there you have production, marketing, sales, and distribution. Product brand advantages, accountability. Managers can be held accountable for the profitability of individual products. So each product will be handled by one manager. They have to be accountable for it. Specialization can lead to better customer service. For example, sales staff may be trained to sell a specific product in which they may develop technical expertise. Since you're going for a product, the sales staff will be familiar with it. Coordination. The functional activities to make and sell each product can be coordinated, integrated by the divisional product manager. However, the disadvantages, increases overhead costs and the managerial complexity of the organization. This may affect its ability to compete. Different product divisions may fail to share resources and customers. So one product caters to one resource. The resource will be needed. It's not shared. We talk about customer. And the organization may organize its activities on the basis of type of customers or what we call market segment, most common in sales department, can distinguish between business customers and consumers. Remember, customers and consumers are different. Customer may buy but may not use it. Okay, consumer are the person actually using it, consuming it. Vodafone, personal customers offered different terms to business customers. So personal will be different, business will be different. Different terms to different business customers, because business will have different type of solutions here. Now we talk about divisionalization. Some activities are decentralized to business units or region. Divisionalization is the division of the business into autonomous regions of product businesses, each with its own revenue, expenditure, capital asset purchase programs, and therefore each with its own profit or loss responsibility. So the division is treated as individual units, like something like different companies. The types of division: a subsidiary company under the holding company. So the holding company will hold more than 51%. This is called a subsidiary company. A profit center or investment center within a single company. So they're talking about the profit center. Strategic business unit, or what we call SBU, within a larger company with its own objectives. Okay. Conditions required: each unit must have properly delegated authority and be accountable to the head office. So individual unit, you have your own authority, but you have to answer to the head office. Be large enough to support the quality and quantity of the management needed. Have potential for growth. Have scope and challenge in the job for management. Use arm's length transactions when dealing with each other. Arm's length, that means you cannot have some personal gain down here. You cannot have personal gain. It must be done according to the company's rules. Advantages: focuses the attention of management below top level on business performance, reduces the likelihood of unprofitable products and activities being continued. So when you decentralize, you know what are the products that cannot sell. Encourages a greater attention to efficiency, lower costs, and higher profits. End of the day, you want higher profits. Gives more authority to junior managers and so prepares them for more senior positions. Reduces the number of levels of management. Top executives in each division should be able to report directly to the chief executive of the holding company. So this is the advantage of decentralization. Disadvantage: in some businesses, it is impossible to identify completely independent products or markets for which separate divisions can be set up, because they can complement each other. So you cannot identify only this product will be made by this unit. Divisionalization is only possible at a fairly senior management level, because there's a limit to how much discretion can be used in the division of work. For example, every product needs a manufacturing function. There may be more resource problems. Many divisions get the resources from head office in competition with other divisions. So how is the head office going to handle? How do they give the resource? Okay, hybrid structure. Organizations are rarely composed of only one type of organization. Hybrid structures involve a mix of functional departmentalization, ensuring specialized attention to key functions with a mixed elements of product, customer, territorial. Product: suit the needs of the brand or production technology. Customer: particularly in marketing departments. Territorial, from the word territorial, especially for sales and distribution departments, serve local marketing in dispersed regions or countries. Okay, so the matrix function. So what are the functions here? The line authority for here, and the client. So in case you want to serve the client A, B, C. Okay. Matrix and project organization bring together different functions or departments for different contracts, so it's all different. Huh? Employees will have responsibility to client managers and functional managers. Used in professional services, example, accountancy firm, you have departmental managers for tax, audit, corporate finance, and you have also client managers. Advantages: greater flexibility of people, workflow, tasks, and structure. People, employees develop an attitude of geared to change. Departmental monopolies are broken down. Workflow and decision making. Direct contact between staff encourages problem solving and big picture taking. So before they start, they can discuss together. Okay, so this is one of the advantages. You can have discussion before you start, and you can have different ways of solving it. Tasks and structure. Metrics can be readily amended once projects are complete. Interdisciplinary cooperation and a mixing of skills and expertise, along with improved communication and coordination, motivation and employee development, greater participation in planning and control decisions, market awareness, more customer focus. At the end of the day, customer is important. Horizontal workflow, bureaucratic obstacles are removed. Departmental specialization become less powerful. However, the disadvantages: dual authority can be conflict between functional managers and project managers. Employees may also suffer stress of working for two managers with conflicting demands and ambiguous roles. So what happens if the employees to work between these two? How are we going to answer to them? Cost: management posts are added and extra meetings are held. Slower decision making due to added complexity. The Chevron organization. Handy defines the Chevron organization as a core of essential executives and workers, supported by outside contractors and part-time help. So you have professional, self-employed, contingent, consumers. Okay, we go into detail. Professional core, essential to the continuity and growth of the organization, usually performance-related pay. Whereas the self-employed professionals hired on a contract or project basis, usually paid in fees for results because they are self-employed. Okay, so contingent workforce, routine jobs performed by employees on short contracts, paid hourly. So these are the lower end jobs. Consumers, example, shoppers who pack their own bags. Flexibility, staff costs respond to supply and demand for different types of labor. Overall, personnel numbers can be changed as required. Skills available can be modified fairly rapidly, and multi-skilling can be encouraged. Okay, this is the organizations. Scalar chain and span of control. This is what you mean by top. Okay, you need to go to different hierarchy in order to make you get a decision. Whereas a flat one would be less. Okay. Delayering, the word comes in word here, layer. Reducing the number of management levels from top to bottom has become increasingly common. You try to reduce. IT reduces the need for middle managers to process information. Your technology here. Okay. Empowerment, allowing frontline workers to make decisions and respond to customers' needs. So the frontline workers can make decisions. They don't have to consult their supervisor. Economy reduces costs. Fashion, delayering has become increasingly popular. Offshoring, similar to outsourcing, but organizations send its own employees overseas or recruits them locally. Nowadays, the government outsource some of the work to other companies. This reduces costs if it locates in a company where labor and infrastructure costs are lower, but can result in issues with culture and language barriers. Example, banks offshore the call centers. I think here we have banks offshoring certain works to companies. Shared services approach. A single service center is established to provide a support function across an organization. Although it is part of the organization, the relationship it has with other parts of the organization is similar to that of an external provider. To result in lower costs through more efficient use of resources. IT and HR are functions this can be applied to. Now it's functional and operational. Deal with specialized areas of activities. Example, marketing, production, finance, human resource management, information system, R&D. Okay. These are very specialized departments. Centralization, decentralization. A centralized organization is one in which authority is concentrated in one place. That is why we call it centralized. Concentrated. Geographical. Some functions may be centralized rather than scattered in different offices, departments, or locations. Authority. Ability to make decisions, referring to decisions upwards. Decentralization implies increased delegation and empowerment. The advantages. Decision made at one point and so easier to coordinate. Senior managers can make a wider view of problems and consequences. The quality of decisions theoretically higher due to senior managers' skills and experience. Possibly cheaper by reducing number of managers needed, so lower cost of overheads. Crisis decisions are taken more quickly at the center without referring back. Policies, procedures, and documentations can be standardized organization-wide. Decentralization, the disadvantage of decentralization, avoids overburdening the top managers, because the top managers don't have to make all the decisions. The junior managers can help. So it improves motivation of the junior managers, greater awareness of local issues by decision makers, faster decision making, especially important in rapidly changing markets, develop skills of junior managers, supports managerial succession. Because of here, they encourage the junior managers to make decisions. Separate spheres of responsibility can be identified, and this leads to more accountability and better performance management. IT enables local decisions to be supported by info from head office. Okay, so this is basically the summary. Okay, you can go to yourself. Our tutorial. Discuss shamrock organization, differentiate tall and flat organization, explain matrix organization, and discuss the advantages of this organization structure. List and briefly explain the 5 components of Mintzberg organigram. Discuss the disadvantages of centralized organization.